Let me tell you about the worst goals of care tough conversation I had with a family. Like, I did the worst. Excuse the pimple. Data changed because this is the internet. Really old patient found down, face down, outside their home with a pulse. EMS was called. They were terribly confused. Their face was all banged up. They were not protecting their airway, and they were nearly 100 years old. We knew their identity, but they weren't picked up in their home. We had no idea of their code status, if they wanted to be intubated or have chest compressions. And they obviously, if you've been in ER or ICU, you know what a brain bleed kind of looks like a bad brain bleed. They breathe a certain way. He was bruised up to the gills. His pupils were not the same size. They should be intubated. And in the absence of any paperwork that would tell us to do otherwise, that was what was done. We tried to get a hold of family beforehand. We were not able to. Right after the patient was intubated and it was confirmed that it was a brain bleed, we were able to get a hold of the family, and of course they're DNR, DNI, right? So now we have a difficult conversation to have with the family, who of course is multiple states away. Most families respond quite well to, "I'm so sorry this happened. I hope you understand. We didn't have this information, but we have it now. And I'm so thankful to be speaking to their advocate," right? And this was their proxy, "about how we can proceed according to your loved one's wishes if they were able to talk to me right now." Now, most of the time, they'll say something like, "You can extubate them now. If they pass, they pass." Or, "I live pretty close. Could you just wait 15, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever, until I get there?" And both of those are reasonable things, right? In this family, said, flights, we'll call you back. We'll figure out some flights, see how we can get there, leave them intubated. And we're like, okay, we'll kind of play ball here. I'll talk to them soon. And they call back and they're like, the flight's the next 2 days, wicked expensive. And I don't want to pay for it. But there's a flight next week. This is 5 days from now. Leave them intubated till then. And now this is a point, right, where I could have started going quite better. Because I was immediately, this is not what your family member wanted. They documented this. It's not really appropriate to intubate them for 5 days. And I made the regrettable choice to say, we're using a lot of hospital resources for the next 5 days. Just to keep your family member alive, for you to come and then palliatively extubate them so they can pass, right? Didn't go over well, right? Which you can imagine. And looking back now, I should have ended that conversation there. They made their decision. That's what's happening. Escalate to my attending or just let this happen, right? And I remembered loosely about a podcast or whatever that I listened to before saying that the goal is to die with dignity, which as a concept is fair to think about. But looking back now, you should never say the word dignity to a family. Because then they, rightfully so, think that you're taking away dignity from their family member. So now this is fully not going well. And my foolishness was compounded by the next day learning that there was a program for the hospital to help family members pay for flights to come see their dying loved ones. They were able to come the next morning anyway. So not only was I insensitive to the logistics and the financial aspect of this, I had poor word choice. I also just didn't know what options the family had available to them. And if I were to do that again, I would probably take my own input out of all of this and say, this is where we're at. So sorry that we're here. I'm so glad I'm able to talk to you now. This is not an easy conversation. There is no right answer here. How would you suggest we move forward? And then if they ask for input, they ask for input. And then just let the conversation close and pass it on. Social work can help. Hospital leadership can help. It wasn't my job to do that. And I think there's an ego in me that wanted to be that guy who solved the sad thing, right? I know a lot more now.